How are you?
I am good. So, welcome to Claim Your Throne Queen podcast with my beautiful friend here, Marybeth Olive.
Well, hello, and thank you for having me.
Okay, we have to tell everyone how long we've been planning this.
Oh, geez. When did you start it, right?
Like 2 years ago.
Okay, then.
And I
I
knew
think,
that I needed you on.
well, I appreciate that. I love you. You're a fantastic leader, and I've always thought what you were doing here was amazing and well needed for life in our industry, but for life, period. And I'm glad that you still want me to be here.
Absolutely. So, tell us, Marybeth, for all those people that don't know Marybeth, tell us a little bit about Marybeth. But I also have to say that I used to stalk you, when COVID came on, and I was like, who's this girl giving all these classes? Like, and I needed to stay alive, because that's just how we were feeling, so overwhelmed and everything. I was like, oh my God, I gotta get onto one of her Zooms.
So I think that's a lot of years of just doing what I love doing, which is pouring into others. And I've been in real estate now for 19 years. So I started really young and I had a lot of people that poured into me, you know. There are some real great models that we follow, business models. And if it's taught and there's not ignorance around it, then people can thrive off of those models. But if it's not being taught properly, then, it's not being heard and then it's not being implemented. So, I'm one of those people, I think, Claudia, you know that, like, if I'm in something, I'm 100% in something. And if there's the ability for me to make it better,
You're gonna make it better.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I like to see opportunity in everything that we're doing, and to give more people a better experience.
I get that. So tell us a little bit about what you're doing now, because God, you've had so many roles, right? And
Yeah.
leadership roles, and I love the story of how you got into real estate. So I want you to give us a little bit of that, because you know that there's always someone that is thinking about real estate and they feel like, oh, would I be able to get in? And I want you to share that story because it's inspiring.
Okay. Okay. So we go back to 2004. I have to say, previous to real estate, I had a lot of work experience with customer service in the restaurant business. My family, I come from an amazing family, right? I come from hardworking parents, which, you know, everybody has a different experience in their upbringing. And I'm coming to find out every day more and more how blessed I am that I had the upbringing that I did.
Oh,
Yes. So mom and dad together. Mom and dad married for 38 years prior to my dad passing away. And I guess I'll talk a little bit about that because that was a really pivotal point in Mary Beth's story. And that's going on 12 years this year. So it's been a while from the point of the pivot. And so I come from hardworking family, working in the restaurant, went to college for sculpture, right? So I'm an art major. I
oh, wow.
bend metal. Yeah, I love to bend metal, paint, build furniture, like sculptural, functional art. Went to college for sculpture, and I always wonder, how does that fit into what I do now? And when I was in art school, a lot of my art was revolving around people and space and how they fit together, whether it was furniture, whether it was, interesting pieces that I was creating, body casts. So
Oh my
I,
God.
yeah, I had a whole like pregnancy line that if you were a pregnant woman, you would call down to the sculpture department. Mary Beth and her team would do an algaform slow set and get that pregnant belly, and then I would make a sculpture from it.
Oh my God, that sounds amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's going to be my next life, Claudia.
Okay, no, we can still get this done.
No, absolutely. And my first coach in the business, he has it on a piece of paper. It's somewhere in a recent email 20 years later of claiming art studio in my forever house so that I can go back to welding and making pregnant lady body casts. Okay.
Definitely.
So I went to college for sculpture and then I come back. I had worked in the restaurant business with this family for ever. So I was 15 when I started with them as a bus girl. At one point, there was one summer that my entire family worked for them. We were there for one day together. My dad was in between
The
jobs.
whole family.
Yeah, I told you we were hustlers, right? So dad was in the kitchen doing the prep work. Mom was waitressing with me and my sister as well. Great family, worked for them. 15, I come back at 23 from college and I'm like, well, I'm going to have my art studio. And the restaurant owner, who I love dearly, she's like an aunt of mine, Bella, was like, okay, why don't you come manage the restaurant? You're gonna have an art studio? Where are you gonna have an art studio? Come manage the restaurant. And so I did just that, thinking I would have my art studio. And I love leading. I think I understood that being the manager of that restaurant. I love leading. I love leading people that want to have fun doing what they love doing.
Right.
So to have a really fun staff, a really fun wait staff was, what was something that I prided myself on. And I learned an amazing leadership lesson in the
I
restaurant
was going to
business.
say, that's where you started with your leadership, right?
100%. And there's a guy, his name is Joe DiLorenzo, and he was my bartender. And on a Saturday night, I would have 3 deep. I mean, it was an amazing Italian restaurant. We had 250 seats. We would turn over 3 times. And we had a full pack bar, probably was like 7:30. And here comes my customer walking in, like my customer that loves my cosmopolitans, my green apple martinis. And I'm like, Joe, I got this. I'm gonna go make the martini. And he's like, Mare, you're on the floor. You're the manager. I'm the bartender. I'll make the drink. And I was like, no, she loves mine. It has to be mine. That's why she comes back. And he was so forceful with me that, please let me do this. Let me show you that she's happy. And if she's happy, you promise to never step behind my bar again.
Ooh, nice lesson.
And I watched him. He was throwing the bottle up in the air. He had cinnamon sparks flying. The lady had a smile on her face. And in that moment, I realized I can go do something else because Joe is making these people happy. He got this. And I really do believe that was my first time I felt like this is another leader. I'm not afraid to sit alongside them and let them do what I would normally do. But this is allowing me to step up and go do something bigger.
Yes.
Right?
Leverage.
So I thank Joe DiLorenzo and Basili's Italian Restaurant for all of that. Plus a whole bunch of other lessons that I could spend hours telling you about. Yet you're in the restaurant business. It's not a very healthy lifestyle. You're 20 something years old. You're finishing up the shift at a certain time, 11 o'clock, still staying after hours with your staff. And it was just not a lifestyle that I wanted.
What made you look at real estate at that point?
Yeah. The car accident. Yeah. So a car accident, due to the lifestyle, we have to constantly know that we make choices and then things happen, right? We surround ourselves. There's a law of, law of inner circle, who you hang with.
Wow.
Who you hang with, you talk like, you walk like, you earn like, you pray like. I mean, get there too. But so I get into this horrible car accident. I'm in a vet going 138 miles an hour.
Ooh, okay.
I'm in the passenger seat. We hit into a car. We ricochet into a pole, and I wake up in a hospital. And I had, thank God. I mean, I had not really too much wrong with me. Broken ribs, broken clavicle.
Oh, not too much. Oh my God.
I mean, you had to see the car. The car was destroyed. The whole front of the car was destroyed. I should have been dead. Right.
Okay.
So to not have a scratch on my outer body, to only have some major injuries, but nothing that it could have been. I was in the bed for about 3 months, and I was like, what am I going to do? And a really great customer of mine from the restaurant said, I want to take you for lunch when you get better. You need to go get your real estate license.
Oh my God. It's always the one person that comes and brings that to you, right?
Yeah. So I was like, Bill, I remember asking him, you mean to tell me people have $500,000 to buy a house? Like they have 500. He's like, no, that's mortgages. Don't worry. You'll learn all about that. But what he said to me was the customer service that I had displayed in the restaurant showed him that I would be excellent in real estate. And from that point, I moved to getting my license in 3 weeks. You know, there was a school that was a 2-week school. I did it right away. I took the test the next week. I passed. I called Bill. I was like, I did it. I'm coming to work with you. He's like, no, you're not, because
There was Marybeth taking action.
he was just like, I would do you a disservice because I'm a one-man show. And he's a very successful commercial broker that, you know, he finds highway corner properties and then land leases them to Eckerd, CVS, BP, Quick Check,
Right.
stuff like that. You know, so it wouldn't have been the same experience, let's say. However, I do think that now with everything that I see, what I'm drawn to now in the latter part of the years in my career, it would have been a different road, but I think I would have had fun. So
Oh my God.
Bill and I are still friends. Bill and I still meet often. And, you know, he always says to me, man, look where you went with this business. Like, I would have never been able to give you that. And, you know, there's times where he's thinking about coming to work with us just to have some friends, just to have some, you know,
Oh my God. I love
collaboration.
this story. So how many houses did you sell on your first year?
My first year in the business, I sold 21 homes. I was 26. I didn't know what I was doing. I worked my butt off. But I also had a lot of fun. I mean, I really was, if you looked at the hours I was putting in and what I was doing and networking and learning, and 21 homes closed earned me over 6 figures. And I literally thought I arrived.
That's right. You did arrive, baby. I mean,
But, you
a
know,
long way from, being in the restaurant.
yeah, you know, that was it. When I came into the business, the person who eventually introduced me to my brokerage said, you know, when you make 90,000, and I said, all right, stop. I mean, I'm not going to make 90,000. And I'm 26-year-old kid. And I'm thinking, no, like 50, 60 would be good. And she was like, oh, stop it. You're going to do fine. You're going to make over, right? So first year was 21 transactions, then was 28 transactions in my second year. I really started to understand how to work with sellers because I had learned the buyer side. I had learned the business and the inventory so well that to help a seller navigate through a decision of should I sell? What should I sell for? That was easy. And then then Claudia then came in the operational aspect of running a real estate business. You know,
and who taught you that route? Because I know what it is like for your first year to just go and I'm going to sell every house and have no systems.
Well, I had a great OP. Her name is Adele DeMoro, an operating partner of our office broker. And I had fabulous sponsor into the company, Gina. And there was that nurturing. There was that constant guidance of what to do, where to go, what I should be doing. I remember Adele telling me, you go take this house and you sit at this house until it sells. You take this open house and you pretend it's your listing and you own it until that thing sells. Yeah. And I was like, well, why do I want to do the same one over and over and over again? Right? Don't I want to get a different one? And she said, no, because it's mastering time on task over time. And then people start to see you and then they see you again and they see you again and they think that that's your listing and you're new and you don't have a listing, but that's your listing.
That's it. That's your listing.
And I will tell you, there is a listing specifically, 1 Oxford, Manalapan. That listing generated millions of dollars and I never sold the house. It was her listing, but I never sold that house. I sold millions of dollars of real estate from the people that came through that house that were put in my path so that I could help, you know?
Oh my God. And I think that this is why you're so amazing, because also I've seen you when you're coaching people, you kind of give them a little bit of your story. It inspires them. And then of course you hit them with this is how you're going to do it.
Yeah. I mean, look, there's definitely a part of being in the real estate business that charisma, personality, you know, who you are naturally shows up. That is an edge. And I think that ever since I was a little girl, I was always that girl selling t-shirts, selling sweatpant outfits at 10 years old,
My
you
God.
know, wanted my first job when I was like 13. I had to wait till I was 15 at the bagel shop. So there's definitely a little bit of that, but I can say that over the years, I've seen the successful real estate agent, the way that they look change over the years. Anybody can do this business. It's really just a matter of caring enough about the person on the other end to help them get what they want. And to be honest, and if you look at our statistics, when they ask sellers and buyers, what do you want from your real estate agent? What do you want from your seller's agent? The number one thing they say over and over all the years I've been looking at stats is they want trustworthy and honest. That's all they're asking for us, is to be trustworthy and honest. They want us to communicate. So you may not have every answer, and you're not, because tomorrow the interest rates could spike to 8%, and we could be dealing with some other feelings in the market. And it's our job as real estate professionals to kind of desensitize that for our customers and our clients and even other agents and vendors.
I know.
Calm down, everybody.